Ah, jolly good, jolly good. Wonderful. America is wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. I'm confused today because I am wondering how I am going to possibly tackle what I'm planning to tackle today. I really have a expectation that it's going to be too difficult. I have a big feeling that it's going to be something that really I struggle to make any headway on. But we're going to give it a go. What, I hear you cry, could this possibly be? Well, let me tell you, it's going to be this. Yeah, apologies if that was triggering. I didn't think about that. Yeah, so Billy Woods has a new album. And Billy Woods is sort of the gold standard of underground hip hop. Huge collaborator and does wonderful things by himself too. So of these recent albums, I've only listened to We Buy Diabetic Test Strips a couple of, maybe once actually. That's an Armand Hammer album, and it's got Billy Woods and Elucid, which is also true for various other Armand Hammer albums. Notably, there aren't any there, which is a bit strange. Yeah, Haram I listened to a bit more and probably enjoyed more. Shrines I enjoyed quite a lot. So yeah, there's those. Maps I listened to a fair bit, and I have not got too into it, but I think it's good. Church I didn't listen to too much. I think there is a couple of really good tracks from it. Brass, skipping quickly over Ethiops. We will come back to Ethiops. Brass I think is a crazy album and definitely deserves more listeners. I haven't gone back to it enough. There's just so many. I mean, all of these are within the last 5 years. Terror Management I haven't listened to. Hiding Places was the first one I listened to, and I thought it was pretty good. I definitely think there's a couple of good tracks. Oh no. Okay. Calm. Hay fever is in the mind, right? And my mind is telling me no, it's not. But to some degree, if I do other things, my hay fever disappears. So that's something. Anyway, Ethiops, I think is one of the best albums. Even though it says I haven't liked any songs here, I definitely have. So presumably on a previous version of the album. But yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant piece of work, with a unique angle, unique view into music. There's so many really interesting things on it. Like Wharves, for instance, has a really interesting story, but also a beat switch in the middle. The first half of the beat is like crazy, atonal, and maybe doesn't have any drums in it either. And then the other half is slightly more accessible, but still, on a whole different level, whole different plane. I'm sort of expecting a bit of that from this as well. But we will see. You can see there's a lot of collaborators here. Steel Tip Dove, who I've found out about this year, who's also released a brilliant album this year with Dose One. Conductor Williams, never heard of. Kenny Siegel is a collaborator on both Maps and Hiding Places. I think that's it. Bruiser Wolf I've come across, I think he's good. I don't know Sadhu Gold. Preservation, no idea. Alchemist is legendary as a producer, although I'm yet to really be blown away by The Alchemist, but there we are. They've worked together as well previously on things like Haram. Despot, I don't know. LP is a legend also, part of Run the Jewels. Elucid from Armand Hammer with him. Shabaka Hutchins, I think I've come across. Oh no, maybe not. No, I think it's someone else called Shabaka. DJ Haram, I don't know. Aldovino, no. Saint Abdullah, no. Yolanda Watson, no. Jeff Markey, no. Messiah Music, no. Ant, no. Cavalier Willie Green, Human Error Club, I also don't know. Okay, that's a lot of collaborators, so very, very different to Ethiops in that respect. Ethiops has a few tracks with other people on, but broadly it's a solo project. This looks like a much more collaborative thing. Anyway, let's have a look at the music of it all, shall we? Yeah, there might well be lots to talk about, but then there might be stuff that just goes straight over my head. So if that happens, I apologise. Please feel free to mark things out that I've missed in the comments. Okay, let's have a listen. Okay, fun start. So, sounds like a film reeler. Film reeler? What are they called? Camera? Film camera, or, you know, a projector specifically. A projector. Old sound of the film reel going through the camera. Projector. With some sounds as well. A lot more cinematic altogether than the average Billy Woods album. There's a lot of interesting atmosphere in Billy Woods, but this feels like dramatic cinematic, you know, very, very high octane action kind of beginning. Let's listen again. Ooh, low notes coming through. Low E. But yeah, lots of whooshy sounds above, and then boom. Just a big reverb tail. Oh, I see this is called Jumpscare. Fair enough. Makes sense then that it would be cinematic. Something in between those. My voice, by the way, is a little sore at the moment, so I'm not going to be talking with my classic gusto, but yeah, something between those, going like that, maybe something up there too. Yeah, so it's a few things spelling out like a B minor, but with semitonal dissonances, and they're all moving a little bit but at a different time. But we're getting overall like a B minor feel, maybe B minor Phrygian. Okay, yeah, lots of sort of slightly glitchy noises. Big synth. Oh, well, this what music box does quite a nice straightforward melody over the top with its own harmony as well. Yeah, so that's sitting there, a low E, and then we've got this nice G major pentatonic thing going over the top, giving us the feeling of G major, but that's rooted with that E minor. Kind of two different things, but they're very closely musically related, so they can merge together quite easily. So I guess if you were going to take those, it would be like an E minor 7. It still sounds like we've got these slight dissonances with that though.
Ragdoll playing dead, rabbit dog in the yard. Car won't start, it's bees in her head. Daddy long legs, stride you home like Cecil Rose.
So there's an approach to rapping here, which is so fucking lame. There's an approach to rapping which is focused less on strict adherence to quantized beats and more about the flow of the words. That isn't to say that Billy Woods is out of time, but more that he isn't interested in metrical precision. Okay, it's more about different pockets of repeated rhythm, and they don't necessarily need to match up with the music in exactly the perfect way.
Daddy long legs, stride you home like Cecil Rose.
Because the beat of the music is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can divide that. Da, 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 da. Right? And if we do that, where does this first word come?
Ragdoll playing dead. Ragdoll playing dead.
It comes just after the first beat. But rag. Okay, so maybe on the 1E. But if we're going to focus on that kind of thing, then it's going to be so rhythmically complex to notate or to think about in that respect that we're going to lose quite a lot. So really we want to think about it as its own internal thing with a little bit of distance from the music going behind it.
Ragdoll playing dead, rabbit dog in the yard.
Right, so ragdoll playing dead, rabbit dog in the yard. Da 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 da. Okay, so you could match that up with the beat quite easily. Da 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 da. But it wouldn't. It actually loses a certain amount of power. It becomes more about the intrinsic power of rhythm, and less about the performance. The performance, which is relatively deadpan, as is a lot of what Billy Woods does. Deadpan and focused on the narrative. I don't know if we're gonna get many deliberate sort of repetitious elements of rhythm, as is quite common in rap to have like a particular flow which goes, well, maybe that first one, that's what we've got, da da da, what, da 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 da. So then we get that again, da 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 ba da ba ba da ba da 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 ba ba da da da, and maybe it would become something like that. I don't know if we're going to get that.
Car won't start, it's bees in her head. Daddy long legs, stride you home like Cecil Rose. Death poems folded in breast pocket, my bed clothes. It's a dark road, but ain't no accidents.
It's not so much that, really, is it? What is connecting each different verse is sort of a focus on the same beats to emphasize, or close to the same beats. And really we're looking at that one actually as being where most things are focused. So if we have a look back at that,
it's bees in her head. Daddy
zoom head, right, straight on the one, and then we get 2, 3, 4.
Legs, stride you home like Cecil Rose. Death poems folded.
Yeah, and then that death is a little bit late, but yeah, to some degree that one is what we're aiming for. Let's just have a listen to the whole first verse again. I mean, if we're calling that a verse, I think really we could probably see all of this as one long verse. I doubt we're going to get singable choruses or anything like that. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Ragdoll playing dead, rabbit dog in the yard. Car won't start, it's bees in them head. Daddy long legs, stride your home like Cecil Rose.
Okay.
Death poems folded.
Right, so we got quite a few endings very, very close to the 1, if not necessarily exactly on the 1 in that first part there. Let's see if that continues.
Breast pocket, my bed clothes. It's a dark road, but ain't no accidents. No coincidences, it's all praxis. Some drove, some crawled, some ran glancing backwards, some ran ravenous. Tender.
Okay. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. It's sort of like a home state, maybe. Like it's the thing that you're coming back to ground everything. But then there are longer phrases where it's elevated on the syncopation, right? So we're just on that higher level, going whatever. It sounds so much worse when I try and do it. But anyway, the point is, it's elevated rather than da ba ba da coming down to that hit on the 1. Okay, that's the main thing I'm pointing out here.
The flesh, slender, imaginary friends. This went.
Okay, sudden change in the beat there. It sounds very similar, but it sounds like there's some filter gone on, or maybe just something's missing. Let's have a listen to the change.
Glancing backwards, some ran ravenous. Tender is the flesh, slender, imaginary friends. This winter, you'll eat to live. Summer, heat blew the grid. Rabbit.
Yeah, so it's a lot more sparse all of a sudden. The low bass note has either disappeared or become much quieter, and what has taken the 4 is a lot of sort of ambient noise. Quite difficult to pin down ambient noise as well. You can't necessarily say this is a busy street in Glasgow. You can't say it's a forest, although that might be what it is. It might just be a mixture of things so thick that it's hard to distinguish. It's not easy to tell. The music box is there, but it sounds like it's sort of breaking. It's not quite doing the right thing.
Flesh, slender, imaginary friends. This winter, you'll eat to live. Summer.
Yeah, so it maybe moved to the middle of the mix rather than being on the left. And it's doing like something like that. Not what it was doing before, which was quite nice melody. Now it's gone a bit wonky.
He blew the grid, rabbit dog in the yard, car won't start, ragdoll playing dead.
So we had those words, didn't we? That's interesting. Let's just check the original version. Coming up soon. Oh, okay, next one.
Ragdoll playing dead, rabbit dog in the yard, car won't start, it's bees in them head.
Okay, so that time it was ragdoll to begin with, and then rabbit dog in the yard. This time, I think.
Ragdoll playing dead friends. This winter, you'll eat to live. Summer, heat blew the grid. Rabbit dog in the yard, car won't start, ragdoll playing dead.
Yeah, ragdoll comes at the end. So it's almost like a chiasmus. It's not really a chiasmus, but a chiasmus is where you have like an A section, a B section, then the B section again, and then the A section again to finish. So like, oh no, yeah, that's a good one. It's not actually, never mind. That's A, B, B, that kind of thing. So because we're starting ragdoll in the yard, no, ragdoll playing dead, then rabbit dog in the yard comes after that, and car won't start comes after that. Then we have rabbit dog in the yard, car won't start, and then we have ragdoll playing dead after that. Okay, so because we've got those two things reversed to some degree, it's like that chiasmus. But we've also got a large amount of stuff in the middle, which was not following that. Another thing it could have been, potentially, was a palindrome. And a palindrome occupies a very similar niche as a chiasmus, but a palindrome is literally mirrored in the middle. So everything on one side will be the opposite of the other thing on the other side. But it obviously isn't that. Okay. Some languages I do not know. But again, this is quite cinematic, isn't it, really? This is clearly a conversation being had. I guess this is something that runs through a lot of hip-hop. You have a decent amount of, skits which are just, setting the scene for whatever song comes next. Or maybe they're just having a nice little sort of banter in a... in a fake, a play, basically, is what they're doing. They're doing a play, an audio play. Anyway, let's carry on. So you can hear sort of drums going do-do-do-do-do-do in the background as well. Okay. Sudden hit and a scream. Scream up on this E, the hit down on an A.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness.
Alright, so now it's as if it's almost another song. We've still got some scratchy ambient sounds which are hard to pin down. But we're going at a different pace, I think, even, aren't we? Let's just check that. One. So where's the come on. Where is it? 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this part. Here it comes.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the natives work.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just check that's not the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's pretty close, isn't it? It's pretty close. But well, I guess the main difference then is we've got half beats, which we didn't have before. And I think Billy Woods is going faster as well.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the natives work the pits.
Yeah. Right? More speed to it, more action. Exciting.
Don't eat the fish.
But then with a huge gap in the middle.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the natives work the pits. So you don't eat the fish.
2, 3, 4.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the planes and ships sit. It's a grip.
Not quite the same. Starting the same, I think. One strip of tarmac, right? The same thing both times. And yeah, the basic thing going on with the background here is A to B, and we've got screaming things around E and F as well. That kind of thing. Yeah, nothing crazy, but something quite different to how we began it.
The vaccinations was TB and whooping cough, looping thoughts. Morose villagers queuing the sun and Ouroboros. From the church pews you could see.
We had a little interjection there from a voice. Something like that, just in the background.
Deep blue of the coast.
There it is
again. Fresh green wood, burn blue. Those who can see pan and smoke.
And there's another one, which sounds like another cinematic pull.
Yeah, don't speak to the living, something not for us to know. The dead drift like empty boats. My people fled to the mountains, but it's nowhere the white man won't go.
Okay, nice collection of 4 there, which is like. So it's like AABA. Some people would call that 32 bar song form. Obviously it was over 4 bars there, so it's not really 32 bars, but it follows the same pattern of AABA. Also, almost like a limerick, really. Da-da-da-da-ba-da, da-da-da-da-ba-da, ba-da-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da. Yeah, it's actually very similar to a limerick. I've never thought about that before. Anyway.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness.
Okay, one strip of tarmac again.
Work the pit, and you don't eat the shit.
Big pause.
One strip of tarmac laid through the wilderness to where the planes and ships sit. It's a grip.
Okay, so that's actually pretty much a...
One strip of...
Wow. That's pretty much a chorus. We've had that repetition twice, and then it started again, one strip of, and then just suddenly cut off.
Grip. One strip of...
Okay, no low notes now. Again, we're just this gritty middle range. Okay, now it feels like a bustling, a bustling bar. That's what the ambience is giving me. Steel Tip Dove is a really interesting producer, I'm learning.
The English language is violence. I hot wired it. I got a hold of the master's tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with the drop. I'm Dang Chow Ping, smoking oil in the box. I'm caught. History's a snare, struggling to grow ever more taught. On my deathbed, chuckling about all that time I bought. Afro.
Yeah, so with the rhyme scheme at the moment, he's very happy to be finishing the lines not at where would conventionally be. So, this is much of a muchness. Like, I think there are a lot of people who are similar in this respect, and it doesn't matter to some people at all. But like, a classic rhyme scheme finishes at the same point in the bar each time. Can't think of an example right now. So yeah, for instance, no. No, never mind. Can't think of one. But if I were going to make one, it would be something like. Wow, I'm so frozen. We eat our dinner on a big plate. This is really, really wonderfully great. We eat our dinner in a fish cake. We eat our fish cake with our fingers. Okay, and fingers there came in the same place where I should have rhymed with the other things, fish cake. And it was in the same place in each bar. Da 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 da. Wow, I'm going to pieces. Ba 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 da ba ba da da. Right, that's the last bit in that 4 there. Da 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 da. Okay, so that ba ba is normally where you would have the rhyme. But if we have a closer look at what's going on here, that is basically not what we get.
The English language is violence. I hot wired it. I got a hold of the master's tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with the drop. I'm Dang Chow Ping, smoking oil in the box. I'm caught. History's a snare, struggling to grow.
Yeah, so if we're looking at the kind of sound.
Language is violence. I hot wired it. I got a hold of the master's tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with the drop. I'm Dang Chow Ping.
So that's downwind with the drop. Basically on the 3, maybe a little earlier.
Smoking oil in the box.
And then I think smoking oil in the what? Yeah, hang on. This is hard, but I'm gonna crack it.
Hold of the master's tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with the drop. I'm Dang Chow Ping.
Yeah, no, because that first one's not on the 3, is it?
Just violence. I hot wired it. I got a hold of the master's tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with
tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with the drop. Yeah, is that right? Is that right?
Master's tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with the drop.
Tools. I got dialed in. I'm downwind with the drop. Yeah, and where is that? I can't.
Got dialed in, I'm downwind with the drop. I'm Dang Chow Ping, smoking tools. I got dialed in. Wired it, I got a hold of the master's tools. I got dialed in, I'm downwind with the drop. I'm Dang Chow Ping, smoking.
It's way before the 3. and then the 3 comes, and then we've got I'm Deng Xiaoping. Okay, let's keep going.
Got dialed in, I'm downwind with the drop. I'm Deng Xiaoping, smoking oil in the wok. I'm caught, history's a snare, struggling.
Yeah, so that was Deng Xiaoping, smoking oil in a wok. So that was on the 4. The other one was shortly after the 2. This is on the 4. Okay, so...
In the wok, I'm caught, history's a snare, struggling, grow evermore with the drop. I'm Deng Xiaoping, smoking oil in the wok. I'm caught, history's a snare, struggling, grow evermore taught. On my deathbed, chucking about all that.
So that time for tart, it did come on the 4 as well. It's interesting that it didn't the first time, isn't it?
I'm caught, history's a snare, struggling, grow evermore taught. On my deathbed, chucking about all that time I bought.
Okay, and then time I bought is on the 2. So these phrases are very irregular lengths. Okay, the middle 2 are like basically a 2-bar phrase. The first 2 are like a 1.5 bar phrase. It's unusual, and it leads to this constant sort of interruption of the expectation of the listener, which is exciting. Lends a little help to actually listening to the words as well, because you never know what they're going to do, and you can't just get lulled into the comfortability of the rhyme scheme. So it's interesting.
Accurate legend on cinder blocks, but I bet if you toggle the wipers with all 4 doors locked, it'll still be like voila.
Okay. Again, we've drifted into space. Oh, we've got a horrible high noise. I think that's just in the left, but I have recently found out that my right ear can't hear quite so high. That's very high though, isn't it? I'm just going to reverse them and see what I can do. Just for my own. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I can still hear it mainly on the right, which indicates it is in both earphones. But there was more of it coming through in the left. Sorry. Yeah, I got them the wrong around there. I can still mainly hear it on the left, even with the things reversed, which indicates that it's coming through both. But also, I could at least perceive some more of it on the right that time. So maybe it is slightly biased to the left. But it's very high anyway. And there you are again. Okay, so anything that was keeping a beat now has disappeared, and we're just getting some ambient noises. What kinds of things? Humming noise, screams, slaps, smashes.
A horrid sight. The blackest gnome.
Wow, what? Let's hear that again. Just that last bit.
A horrid sight.
Oh, a horrid sight. And that sounds properly lifted from an audio book from maybe 20 years ago. No idea what it could be though. And this is kind of the fun as well of albums that use a lot of samples, is that they have so much connotative understanding from so many different angles coming in to make something unique itself. It's very difficult for anyone to understand all the references in a piece of music like that. The only people who are going to are probably the people who made it, and maybe even they don't know all of them. Maybe they know the ones that they contributed, or maybe they just found some sounds and thought that they were good, and they don't even know the provenance. It's really hard to know where to go with that kind of thing. You could do a super detailed, specific, categorical analysis of something like that, but you end up then sort of missing the wood for the trees, because you are focused on all these specific things, none of which are really the intended understanding. The intended understanding is never going to be, please go out and see all these things that I have referenced here and come back, and when you have watched all these films that it's from, then you can understand the album properly. They're going for much more of a layman's understanding, which is going to be the average person anyway. They're going to go into this not knowing any of these specific things, but experiencing them without that prior knowledge of where they came from. And that's what, well, you know, that therefore makes my interpretation of a horrid sight, what was it again?
The blackest gnome.
The blackest gnome. A horrid sight, the blackest gnome, immediately makes me think of race. It makes me think that this has been a story made in order to demean black people. But I don't know that that's the case. But putting it in this context makes me think that way, that this story that it's from must be that. I don't necessarily know what relation that has to the rest of the song. I can't pass that. And to be honest, I don't mostly try to understand the lyrical meaning or connections between these things. Other people are much better at that than I am. What I'm much more focused on is the music, and we will continue to see if there are any connections between the music. I'm imagining that there's basically different producers for each of these tracks. Yeah, so, okay, written by Billy Woods, produced by Conductor Williams. So I imagine that's basically the thing that's happened here, yeah. So the producer is the second person or the third person credited. Yeah, okay, yeah. So Bruce Wolf here is just another rapper. Sadhu Gold is the producer on that one. So largely these are actually going to be solo performances, I think, but with a backing that is going to vary quite considerably from track to track, I imagine. Let's see.
Jumped over. What
Star
is it,
87.
Conductor ran away with the spoon.
Okay, so we've got some tremolo strings. Giving us maybe like an F sharp to an F or something like that. Let's hear it again.
Jumped over. What is it? The something. Conductor ran away with the spoon.
Oh, it's very atonal. We've got that in the bass. And then it does that classic pentatonic thing. We've also got more of a music box thing again. But it sounds more dissonant now. Still about around F though, or around B flat minor maybe. Do I mean that? Yeah.
Then the cow jumped.
And it's got a bit of pitch bendy stuff going on, so it really feels like that, you know, classic creepy horror children scary thing.
Ran away with the spoon.
Yeah, and those strings, they are doing some unpleasant things, just bending up and down or sliding up and down between semitonal things, and maybe also with the pitch shift, so we're getting a real queasy feeling.
Then the cow jumped over the moon.
And those voices going on,
These days I
very dreamy, because some of them are mumbling, very distinct, hard to understand, and then some of them are very close and understandable. So you get these very different two styles of vocal production juxtaposed, making it like an unpleasant dream, like a nightmare that you can't wake up from because it's someone else's music that you're listening to. You couldn't turn it off. Okay. I thought it was something like that. Yeah, some kind of strange phone noise in the background.
Dumb luck if they ask me how, but go ahead.
Okay, wow. And then out of that, I mean, everything continues from what I can tell, but we've also now got a nice tight kit kind of sound as well. Not sure. I don't think it was performed. I think it's probably a programmed kit, but it sounds good. Very
Dumb luck
lo-fi.
if they ask me how, but go ahead and cash me out. You already know I need mine now.
We've got this swung 16ths. So if we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, quite a slow beat overall. And then in the middle we've got 1 and 2, and that part straight, no problem. And then we've got swung 16ths, which, yeah, adds a little bit of a drunken feel. It's not like drunken drums, but it has this very laid back feel to it.
Cash me out. You already know I need mine now. My father.
Yeah, the bass is giving us some real chaos. Something like that. It's improvising over what's going on. So it feels like we're half stuck in like a funky, laid back funky 70s groove with the drums and the bass. And half stuck in atonal horrorville because of the other backing stuff. And then Billy Woods is over the top as well.
Came home, they slaughtered the cow. I come home, the house falling down.
Got a little more energy in his voice in this one.
Everyone living South Africa now. Talking about it's hard all around. Why when it's my turn to eat, it's always ashes in my mouth. Grown men excited to be in the streets, Negroes is clowns.
Again, we've got the same thing going on where the rhyme part doesn't come at the same point in the bar. It doesn't come at the same point in the bar. So you've got sometimes it coming in on the second, sometimes it coming in, just out of time, and that's all part of the style.
The streets, Negroes is clowns, or maybe it really is hard all around. Weight of the world on your shoulders, keep a couple pounds. Tend the grass, prune the trees, I keep the ground. I salt to the earth, bent back with a hoe his whole life. Sat up in the herds, gave him quite the fright.
Yeah, and some internal ones like that are pretty effective too, and they come up from time to time. So we had whole life, and they had quite the fright. So yeah, it's an interesting one because I think rap broadly has moved away from strict rhyme being where you actually try and say the same like whole ending thing. So right would rhyme with light or might or tight, but it wouldn't rhyme with life because f is different. Really, I think what they're doing more is like assonance, so they have the same vowel sound. So life is fine to rhyme with all of those in that line. Life is fine to rhyme with time and spine and lime and alkine. Yeah, all those things, they rhyme, but they don't actually rhyme. So we're using rhyme to mean assonance really most of the time here.
This on the cord, this mic like in memoriam, cite my sources, anti-pop consortium, cold flowing every line of accordion, every line. Leave the comments on the racism pouring in.
So it came down for a moment there with that every rhyme, which seemed like it was in a slightly different place and a little bit quieter. And then a bit of a pause, and then we're back in with the same level of energy.
This is how I win. Charged up so much and dark in my...
Okay, and while he's speaking, there's a more powerful than ever comes through in the right speaker as well. So we're getting a multifaceted thing. I mean, you would get this. You do get this from time to time. And people like Eminem would have like cartoonish reactions to their lines, right? So like stapled his whatevers to a stack of paper. Ow! But this is more intense than that and more intellectual, really. It's yeah, you've got lines coming from different places, sung said by different people, and it leads to this quite complicated, difficult to take in one sitting experience.
This is how I win. Charged up so much and dark in my skin. I'm the one, I'm the beginning and the end. I'm the glowing sky, burning air, cinders in the wind. It should have been you, whispered by dead friends, and you know it's true. The hour's late, like dim. Knock, knock, guess who? Eyes red rim. Looking around the den like you did a hike off all that shit.
It might not actually be as improvised as I thought, that bass line, because we've had something like that before, which is a shame because I think it would really fit to have a bit of improvisation.
Did I? But you forgot about the kid. Had to do him greasy like cold spare ribs in the sallow glow and open fridge.
That's a shame.
Every verse sharp at night like a shiv. Pelican Bay when I'm alone.
Okay, it's starting to pitch off, actually. The whole thing is starting to go a little bit sour. Let's hear that again.
Night like a shiv. Pelican Bay when I'm alone in the crib. I ground niggas down like Coach Tibbs. Phone ring off the hook. They want to know where the bodies is hid.
Okay, drums have dropped out and bodies is hid. And then are we getting into a new section?
Misshapen pigs.
Still got most things going on. That music box. Okay.
Have you been calling me? Can I speak with the police?
Okay. So there's some level of conversation going on in the background. Again, it's like we're working the skits into the songs, which is pretty fun.
Keeps on calling. Have you been calling me? Can I speak with the police?
Okay. The music box and the bass have now dropped out, and we're left with just these unpleasant strings.
Keeps on calling. You're safe inside that house. Why are you doing this?
Okay.
What are you...
The bass has come back in on a G. Now, we were quite heftily in F minor, and this G is a little bit unexpected. It would be in the key, technically, but it's not one of the notes that was coming up at all.
Stop calling me, you
And the strings have gone up as well.
Coming from inside the house.
Okay, I do actually know the call is coming from inside the house, comes from Black Christmas, which I notice is coming up two tracks later. So that's interesting. Yeah, Black Christmas, a classic horror, I would say. Not generally considered one of the best, but it's certainly chilling, and it's quite an exciting, unusual idea as well. So go and see Black Christmas. I think there's a remake. There might be a few actually, but the 70s one is the one I'm recommending. No need to spoil it in any other way. I would say that line to some degree spoils the whole thing, but we'll just forget about what that said. Yeah, we just had a splash of noise, and it looks like we're going to get something different for the last 15 seconds. Okay. Well, if we're not going to get more horror from clipping, we might as well get it here as well. Horrible. Sounded like someone dying, and yeah, well, I don't know what reference again that has to the track. Unpleasant ending though, unpleasant whole track, I would say. Pretty powerfully impressive commitment to that really nasty set of samples. Yeah, that. It was just getting higher at the end, and it was so high, and then we got some low strings like in Psycho, but it wasn't the Psycho soundtrack, but a very similar idea. And then yeah, some voices to end as well. Okay, all right, well, I'm suitably freaked out. Let's keep going. Misery. Misery is another horror film.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in much more approachable territory here. That's basically what we've got. Maybe with a ninth in there. No, it's not with a ninth actually, is it? There might be something else in there. Let's hear it again. Maybe we don't even have the seventh in there. Surely not. But it doesn't sound that clashy. So it can't be that. Ah. No, yeah. That's what it feels like. But we've also got the major third in there. And I'm wondering why it sounds so much more clashy on my guitar compared to what's going on in the mix. We do also have that. I don't know. Oh, okay. It's gonna be to do with microtonal differences. I think it's because that is a little higher actually than the note that is actually coming through. So it's more like that, but that's a little higher. Something like that. Yeah, hard to find the sweet spot. Interesting. Anyway, the chord basically is a B flat 7, B flat 9, B flat sharp 9, somewhere in the middle, followed by an A sharp 9. So we're just going down a semitone, and then that's that.
Re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens and 50 SETI. Re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens and 50 SETI.
And the pattern goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is fun. Yeah, fun to just have it suddenly zip back and then zip back to where it was again. The drums are again very laid back, but we haven't got a swing rhythm here. It's all more straight. But we're focusing on sort of the fourth semiquaver of each. Ba, da da, da da, da da, which almost feels like an extreme swing, but it has its own understanding, so it's not really that.
One fan like Misery, and Misery love company, and with them titties she never unaccompanied, and she not going home in a pumpkin. If it's a tight squeeze, Brody, you the one thumbing. Please believe.
We've also got fills coming in the drums, which is nice. We haven't had those really, as far as I'm aware.
Loving her husband, she got a summons for sex in public and laugh, telling the story. She laughed from her stomach. I love it.
Yeah. So the drums are actually more variable from bar to bar, which is fun. I've been looking for a bit of that. So yeah, appreciate it. Nice slight little bit of chaos, a little bit of unpredictability.
In her mouth, dainty like she in a painting daydream. Those nails raking, full moon. She came to me already wet with sex. Next day I slept head on the desk, dead tired. It's pass fail on the test, bite marks on the breast. I'm trying to guess if she taking me home or platonic hug and kiss.
It's interesting, that dead tired there sort of made me think that was going to be the next rhyme scheme, but then he kept going with the one from before. It's really, there's so much play with expectation in the rap here. If you focus in on that, I think it's going to take left turns almost as often as you can notice what's going on.
In full moon, she came to me already wet with sex. Next day, I slept head on the desk, dead tired. It's past fail on the test, bite marks on the breast. I'm trying to guess if she taking me home or platonic hug and kiss.
Yeah, and again, we've got an almost random selection of assonants. It all fits the right story, doesn't it? That's very damning, and that's not what I mean. But each word is just got the s, maybe this at the end as well, but not everything. Like sex is very different to test. Anyway, yeah, the rhymes come at very seemingly random times as well, and it's just like sorry, it's not like Chinese water torture, but in the way that it's completely unexpected when these drops are going to come. In that way, it is like Chinese water torture.
Burn my cheek.
It's like a dopamine hit of if Chinese water torture, instead of making you feel bad whenever a drip. Let me just check it as Chinese and not Japanese. Oh, that would be an embarrassing mistake to make. Water torture. Yes, Chinese water torture. Okay, good. Anyway, yeah, it's what was I going to say? It's like a dopamine hit version of that. So instead of it causing you pain, causing you upset, now it's actually causing you happiness because you're getting that rhyme, rhyme, and because it happens at random times, it's more exciting and more enjoyable.
Stops on the ACE. I want to lay together, pass the weed, tangle legs, arms, feet, tangle sheets, rings and bangles, whispered strangle me, big trees, we spoon in the can.
Oh, it's just that I've got the whole thing is slightly tuned up, I think. After spending so long trying to find it, and that's all we needed to do. We were just slightly off from A equals 440, which we should be, because that's more exciting, and A equals 440 is a joke.
I'm in her green room candidly making small talk with the man. Her girlfriend's in the band and she's not a fan of me. I get it. It's only so many days in a week, weeknights in a month. Everyone trying to get next to the plug. She out all night and don't leave before dusk. Dark turtleneck on the basis in her.
Interestingly, suddenly after that, then suddenly we were left just with the underneath tracks. That was kind of weird, wasn't it? So we got that left, and then we're left with no saxophones. The saxophones were there, and now they aren't. We're just left with a softer underbelly.
Husband keep his collar turned up, ragged holes in my throat, but I love to see those lips shiny with blood. I'm a number one fan. Number one fan like Misery and Misery Love Company, and with them, she never unaccompanied, and she not going home in a pumpkin. If it's a tight squeeze, Brody, you the one thumbing, please believe.
Yeah, interesting. Again with the pause there, da da, and then I sort of expected another one, da 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 da, and then we would go into something else after that. But of course, crashing through my expectations, we go all the way through to the next section, and those saxes are back in, of course. Nice, good build up, deliberate, and Misery, yeah, clearly some relation to the actual film Misery. Talk about number one fans and such like.
I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens at 50, said I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens at 50, said I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens at 50, said I...
Right, interesting. So lots of repetition there, and slightly different rhythm. Let's hear it.
I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens and 50 said I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens and 50 said I re-up on bad dreams, bag up.
Yeah, so the first two times are quite similar. Re-up on bad dreams, but the 50 said. And then he runs out of breath for the third time, so we get a re-up on bad dreams.
Re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens and 50 said I re-up on bad dreams, bag up screens and 50 said I re-up on bad dreams.
Okay, and just a fade out. Really interesting way to end.
See the one I need, you can go. See the one I have to have. See the one I need, you can go. See the one I have to have.
Nice. And then a repetition of a sample that gives it rhythm, which is really cool. Because we got that it really fits with the tempo of the backing track. It's very creative and fun. And yeah, the repetition of it makes you notice that, because if it had just happened once, you might just chalk it off to complete randomness, but because it's fit in both times, you go, ah, cool, yes, very good. All right, Black Christmas. Let's just take a bite, take a rest, and see what's the overarching similarities here. At the heart of it, we've got Billy Woods, and he's doing clever things with his voice, pretty much keeping monotone through most of the songs, occasionally coming down. We never have a real elevation of excitement. It's not like the Backwash album we listened to, where there's quite a considerable variation in tone. It's not really the case here. So we keep that monotone, which is not super interesting by itself, but then we have those little bursts when the rhyme scheme hits, and the rhyme scheme hits in irregular patterns. And again, it's not rhyme so much as assonance, but it hits in those particular pockets. That's very exciting. Occasionally, we're getting specific repetitions, and the specific repetitions are infrequent enough that it really feels quite special when it happens. And also they are variable in interesting ways that from a phenomenological perspective is quite exciting. From a semiotic perspective might not stand up to scrutiny, but who cares about that? It's fine, it's exciting, because you hear the thing and you go, oh, that's different to that. You don't have to put any extra meaning on it for it to be worthwhile. Which is a funny thing for me to say. What else do we have? We have these backing tracks. What's the right term? Beats. These beats by three different, very interesting. Well, I feel the Kenny Siegel one slightly less out there than the other two. Conductor Williams one, nasty from beginning to end, very dissonant. Sort of had a fake home of F minor, but then half of it was never in F minor. Whereas the Kenny Siegel one, we've got a very comfortable two chords, just settling on one of the chords for most of the time. That's pretty classic soul influenced kind of stuff. And the drums in both of those tracks are the thing that keep it going, keep it sort of listenable and exciting, other than Billy Woods. The drum kind of kit type, I guess, is similar between the tracks as well, relatively tight, but we did have a different approach to how it works on the second on Misery. We didn't have any of that really on the Steel Tip Dove one, the Jumpscare. What we had there was much more of a sort of landscape, wasn't it? It was much more atmospheric, and we had ambient noise that was hard to pin down. Two different grooves. The first one based around sort of an E minor with that music box. The music box came back in Star 87, didn't it? So we do have weird connections between the tracks, even though they've been produced by different people. And the other thing that connects all of them is these samples from cinema. We're really getting a cinematic connection all the way through so far. No doubt that's going to be connected to this one. Let's have a listen.
All the shit you see, my nigga, nightmares didn't come during dreams. Fiends is the zombies, open the scene armed robberies, twin 15 carbon copies, autopsies.
So this is Bruiser Wolf starting this, I'm very sure. He's got quite an eccentric voice, which is really different to Billy Woods, isn't it? Billy Woods is just keeping everything on the same level, whereas in between the same words, he's going up and down so often that it makes a really big change for his voice to come in like this.
All the shit you see, my nigga, nightmares didn't come during dreams. Fiends is the zombies, open the scene armed robberies, twin 15 carbon copies, autopsies.
His flow is also really interesting, isn't it? Because it's stop-start. He's got flows of individual things, followed by a long pause. Long pauses. Sometimes not quite going so fast, but nothing very long. There's no long phrase at all. It's just the pauses which are relatively long. It's an interesting way to do it.
Adopted me. Dying young was the prophecy. I was raised.
Let's have a look at the backing track too. Oh yeah, let's tune back down. Going back to A440. I'm sorry. It is our master. Right, let's try again.
Autopsies. Street life adopted me. Dying young was the prophecy. I was raised improperly in poverty, malnourished, food a commodity.
Yeah, so it sounds mainly piano based, but it's quite tinny and like it's been recorded for an old old film reel. But it's based around this A, that's sort of our root place, and then we get this A, like G on A chord. And then we get an octave B flat to cancel that. That's on the offbeat as well, which is quite fun. Yeah, it's quite a fun thing, sort of giving us Phrygian. But then the G on A actually gives us something else. It sort of says, Aeolian, Dorian. So we've got this constant changing of the mode in that respect. We've got a B here. So there's this chromatic line hidden in there. Yeah, interesting stuff.
Bare feet, missing teeth.
And the drums are not swung this time, but they're giving us a little bit of semi-quaver activity, but straight semi-quaver activity. So a little bit more active than the drums that have been on the previous two tracks.
Nourished, food a commodity. Bare feet, missing teeth, raggedy clothes. You think they're trying to trick or treat? Had to walk the streets when it was beef. To be frank, it was gore. Scared to fall asleep. They want you to rest in peace in the morgue. Gamblers, scammers, grandmas in pajamas. Niggas home from the slammer trying to get a hold of the hat.
And a kick drum has suddenly come in. It wasn't here to begin with.
Had to walk the streets when it was beef. To be frank, it was gore. Scared to fall asleep. They want you to rest in peace in the morgue.
It's not as strong.
Gamblers, scammers, grandmas in pajamas.
But now it's really
Niggas
strong.
home from the slammer
That's
trying to get a hold of the hammer.
Something quite unusual to change the mix around the kick drum. Normally the kick drum stays at one particular volume. There's no need to change it really, because it's always occupying its own octave really. Like maybe you would change the brightness of it. To be fair, maybe that's what's happening here. Anyway, it becomes much more present in this post 30-second world.
Trying to trick or treat. Had to walk the streets when it was beef. To be frank, it was
Barely there.
Scared to fall asleep. They want you to rest in peace in the
There it's there.
Gamblers,
But it's
scammers,
getting more
grandmas
every
in
single
pajamas.
time.
Niggas home from the slammer trying to get a hold of the hammer. Funds is tight when the breadwinner get natural life.
It's also got a nice kind of boop, sort of bongo kind of sound in there as well.
The Rico for packaging white. The strain to maintain can make you deranged. Acting strange.
Yeah, some of these lines are getting an echo as well, which is a weird touch. It's very exciting, this one. This one's maybe my favourite so far.
The strain to maintain can make you deranged.
Yeah, so strange was just a big pause from everything, and then deranged.
Strange, cause meds do more than take away the pain. Insane. Panic attacks, you can't relax. From having first dibs to what's left of the scraps. Horror.
I can't actually tell if it's an echo or it's just him doing his own backing and doing those extra, contrapuntal phrases maybe. But here they are, mostly echoes of what's just happened, which is interesting.
Suspense. It's a thriller if you can pay the rent. Direct threats at people trying to invent. This flick is really
Yeah, but then occasionally not, right? Because he just went, huh, there. Yeah, interesting approach.
Depicting it after living it is sickening. No, sir.
You walked a long way, cause the shelter too crazy.
And of course you just end by saying Bruiser, which is your name, and then straight into Billy Woods. No pause there at all.
Sickening. No, sir.
You walked a long way, cause the shelter too crazy.
And there's a weird effect on his voice here, which is putting it down. So if it's long, it's around there. Yeah, sort of like a B flat. I think it's putting it down maybe a fourth as well.
Walked a long way, cause the shelter.
No, yeah, it's down to like a fifth. So we're getting something like that. That's weird. He might have just said it twice, but I doubt it.
You walked a long way, cause the shelter too crazy. You gotta test it, yay. Nowadays that shit crazy. Even the weed spray, they paying more, you couldn't pay me.
Yeah, so it sounds like this actually quite, aggressive choir. It's not really like a choir, but more like a mob. Even though it's just these two people, because they're speaking in not in unison, but in rhythmic unison. They're speaking at exactly the same time, saying the same things. It's pretty scary.
Weed spray, they paying more, you couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me. You walked a long way, cause the shelter too crazy. You gotta test it, yeah. Nowadays that shit shady, eating the weed spray. You couldn't pay me. Neighbors just got evicted.
Another thing that unites all these tracks is that they are quite slow paced. It's a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and very slow. Let's just tap the tempo. Let's see what that is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah, about 70, about 71, 72. So that's pretty slow paced. Very laid back, and it leaves more space in between each beat for complexities of flow, which I think is a good idea.
Are you gonna put folks out a week before Christmas and they got kids? Them people sick in their head is sickening. Everything niggas got tossed in the street, crying kids is wicked.
So this is an interesting section because it's clear here that he's just speaking. The voice underneath is gone. Let's hear the difference.
Hey man, you walked a long way cause the shelter too crazy. You gotta test it, yeah. Nowadays that shit shady, eating the weed spray. You couldn't pay me.
So there we've got these two different voices, and they're giving the rhymes at the same time with the same level of emphasis. But then in this next part,
Neighbors just got evicted. How you gonna put folks out a week before Christmas and they got kids? Them people sick in their head is sickening. Everything niggas got tossed in the street, crying kids is wicked. Took what they could fit in a cousin whip and 2 trips.
like, there are sort of rhymes in there as well, but they're treated in a really different way. Let's hear it again.
Neighbors just got evicted. How you gonna put
So neighbors just got evicted.
folks out a week before Christmas and they got
Christmas, right? But then Christmas, we just go straight over. Neighbours got evicted. How are you going to put people out a week before Christmas? And evicted in Christmas, obviously, is not a very strong rhyme. But anyway, they just go straight past it.
kids? Them people
Kids.
sick in their head is sick.
Stick in the head. Okay, and again, we go straight past that. So there's these pauses just before, you know, the bit that rhymes. Sorry, just after the bit that rhymes. And then when we rhyme it, we just go straight on. Actually reminds me of Gregorian chant, where often you would go, you know, you would have one chanter who would go, Kyrie eleison, or whatever. Then there would be a big pause while they wait for his next line, and he would go, Kyrie eleison, and then as he gets to that eleison, everyone else takes up the next line. Christe eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison. You get it? So they sort of almost overlap, and that's almost what's going on here. It's a weird kind of attempt to shift away from what is generally the most exciting thing, which is these rhymes. It's trying to push past that. Again, maybe to focus on the actual words. It's an interesting thing. If it's doing that for you, please do let me know.
Everything niggas got tossed in the street, crying kids is wicked. Took what they could fit in a cousin whip and 2 trips, the rest just sit.
Yeah, I think there
Nobody
was one
wants to
there
be
as
the
well.
first, but it's just sit. Eventually people start picking, sifting through, not proud, but eventually I was with them too. Pots and pans for the kitchen, few old clothes, my kids is little, they won't.
Yeah, and imperceptibly now we're into what feels more like a flow. I mean, I could put it down to it not having a drum beat underneath it,
Just sit. Eventually
does.
people start picking,
so I can't put it down to that.
sifting through, not proud, but eventually I was with them too. Pots and pans for the kitchen, few old clothes, my kids is little, they won't know the difference. Dolls with their heads missing, wild-eyed, rocking horse, mouth carved into a frown. Family photos.
There's interesting, like, one-beat glitches in the backing, where maybe the piano will jump out for a moment, or maybe the drum will go boom for a moment, just for one beat, and then it's back into the groove. It is a good thing to do. Makes the song more exciting as it carries on. You know, these songs don't have structure in the same way as most pieces of music that are given to a wide audience do. The structure here is pretty much linear. We had a verse from Bruiser Wolf at the beginning. We've had sort of 3 different sections of Billy Wood's stuff here, but it is just words. There's no chorus. There's the same the same sample or the same beat is going through the whole thing. So we're not breaking it up by having different like vastly different and more exciting sections. Each section has big connection to the previous section and is just the next section. There's no connection to earlier, there's no connection to later. It's just happening in a very linear progression. So in order to keep that exciting, you have to have things that change up in the midst of the similarity, and that is what they're doing. So, lecture over. Well done.
Scattered on the ground, but they not of that family, I put them down. A light drizzle drove me back inside the house. Barred the door, sat on the couch, put the stuff on the floor. Everywhere it's hungry mouths, it's gnawing doubt. Dreams where teeth keep falling out and they insisting it's hamburger meat, but it tastes type foul. Didn't want the doctor to turn, I knew it'd be something awful on the ultrasound. Sat up in my sleep, stifling the scream. That rent got me.
Yeah, so we've had that ow rhyme assonance for a long time, and then suddenly it's Scream is what we end with.
On the ultrasound, sat up in my sleep, stifling the scream.
And I guess Sleep maybe is a setup to that, but that was an internal thing, not expected to change the final rhyme. But yeah, then we get Scream, stifling a scream.
Got me feeling I'm fit to drown. Storm drain.
But then we're straight back to Drown, which, yeah, really small. I mean, does that affect you when you're listening? You know, you're always expecting this ow sound, ow, 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 and then you get this E. I mean, on the surface, it seems like something that would jump out, but because everything is pretty monotone, I'm not entirely sure that it makes a huge impact on the psyche. But yeah, when you're doing a close listen like this, it's a really interesting thing to do.
Full of clowns, tent cities on the edge of town. Squeaky wheel on the sharp cart, so you know when they coming.
Bit of cymbal sound there.
What you took, you can't give back now. Nah,
Okay,
they
fading.
on you like hounds.
Fading out, but coming back with another piano thing. Which probably would work with the other one, but hasn't been put with it. Okay, it sounds like a bath as well. So I'm playing piano in the bath. Sounds like something quite classical, really. And a crazy bird. An interesting collection of things. Hard to make out what the meaning of any of that would be, but yeah, a bath, definitely. Sounding of a bath, sounding of a plug hole, sounding of a cawing bird. I can't actually tell you what it would be. Maybe it's a parrot. And then yeah, this piano thing. We've had the piano thing through the thing. And then this one is more focused on, well, a different key, I guess. But yeah, it sounds more like a proper classical piece to some degree. Alright, waterproof mascara. Okay, preservation.
I must be getting old or something.
Another sample. Yeah, actually in the previous one there wasn't so much from film, was there? We started straight with the verse. We had verses going through the whole thing. It was just at the end where we got some sound design stuff. So yeah, maybe not every single one linked by the same concepts. But here we are definitely getting some more film stuff again.
Turn it up.
There's a nice melody, isn't it? Nice sung melody.
Watch my mother cry from the top of the stairs, scared when it came through the walls. I cupped.
That's really nice. That's not how it goes. There we go. Just too high. Let that slide down. Very nice. And yeah, we're sort of in A flat minor here. The voice sounds like it's behind some kind of shield as well. Some kind of thing impedimenting it, getting in the way of its higher, brighter noise. Sounds a bit downbeat. And what else have we got really? Just the bass, maybe some tinny noise, and Billy Woods.
Watch my mother cry from the top of the stairs, scared when it came through the
Horrible
walls.
crying
I covered
sound.
my ears, half hoping you know who would die. Then he did. Surprise! Careful with.
Okay, weird low piano notes coming through on the right and then the left, and a surprise This one's really going for quite an uncomfortable atmosphere. That crying noise is really not what you want to hear.
Wish for might just get that shit. Mom showed us where she kept the passports. The king's dead and your uncles are not our friends. How many times I gotta tell you kids, it's us in this room. That's...
Wow. It's so sparse, isn't it, as well? We've really just got two instruments, a voice and a bass. We've got some tinny, scratchy vinyl noise. We've got that crying, and we've got Billy Woods, and these things are not taking up a vast amount of the harmonic spectrum. So yeah, so it sounds brutal.
it.
Okay, sudden smash of keys on the left. Bit scary, maybe. It sounds like we've got some drums coming in now. Oh, but maybe
Don't
not.
trust anyone. Don't trust anyone. Sometimes it's all you can do.
That's horrible, that. Don't trust anyone. Yeah, on the... So that's... You can over-intellectualize the pitch of rappers, but... Don't trust anyone. Does make this uncomfortable minor major 9 chord. Which, yeah, is a really cool chord. But very uncomfortable. And the sing-song way of saying it as well. Yeah. I'm verging on it's in bad taste here, but I think it's for a serious point. So I'm on board.
Not to do it like Sylvia Plath. My house full of gas, my kids cried and laughed right after. Psychopaths. I watched the slave cry for his master, waiting for him to break kayfabe, but the poor bastard just sat there, supper untouched. You can't make this shit up, but you're welcome to try. I ain't gold, but niggas told me it wasn't a dry eye. We have...
Just a couple of notes. So the drums and the piano just keep coming in for brief moments between the verses. We just got that G and then low note from the piano. So they're just adding extra texture when it's needed, when the verses are stopping.
Paralyzed, hit it again off automatic. We have me paralyzed.
And there do seem to be more pauses in this one than in most of the others. Like Black Christmas really just went and went and went and went and went. There was very little stop there. But here, these pauses, I mean, they almost add to the vulnerability and sparseness, don't they? Because there's then less going on. So you're confronted with these unpleasant noises. And it's funny because the musical noises are actually more pleasant than most of these, but they're in the context of the non-musical noises, which make them really quite much more sad. It's odd, a very odd feeling.
Hit it again off automatic. Forging firewood with a baby crying in the forest. Don't you go looking for it. Just right how the white girl like her porridge. Get scolded, scoffing out the wrong plate. Wake up, bitch, you in the wrong place.
There's the drums again for a moment.
She sings for her, and she isn't here. She cries for herself, surprised at the question, like, who else deserved these tears? I know he wasn't thinking it was...
Yeah. The drums were just over Billy Woods for a moment there. But, I thought, therefore, they would be carrying on. But actually, no, they are just almost, an improvised flourish, just adding, from maybe a build-up of emotion is what causes that. Yeah, it's an interesting approach.
You. I know he wasn't thinking it was you.
Okay, we actually had a raised voice there from Billy Woods. Rare emotion dripping through.
We have me paralyzed.
A little bit of vocal fry for I'm not sure why. Is he lighting
You have me paralyzed.
a joint?
Did it again off
Those
automatic.
crazy piano things coming through as well. Feels a little more oppressive now, like there's more going on. Okay. Thousands of glass bottles.
前は俺の中にあったものが
And some more languages that I don't know.
その
Fading
代わ
out.
り俺自身空っぽになった
And more sadness that I don't understand. Hitting or shooting or something. Wow. That is an unpleasant set of noises making up that soundscape. Yeah, I mean that track's really good, but it's so painful. Wow. I think I will do one more. Counterclockwise, let's have a look. Let's hear that beginning again.
2 milligrams of oral triazolam every 7 hours induces a safe sleep state and a minimal metabolic rate. I know more.
Nice. Let's hear it one more time.
Conversation. The first continued state of rest. The human body breathes 0.3 liters of oxygen a minute. For roughly 2,000 minutes.
Yeah, great set of I really like that bass line. And it's a nice set of 8 as well, so it's nice and round, square even.
2 milligrams of oral triazolam every 7 hours induces a safe sleep state and a minimal
Yeah.
metabolic rate.
Sort of wah effects going on the bass and the guitar, so maybe we're going for a psychedelia kind of acid rock kind of 60s 70s feeling.
We're having this conversation. The first continued state of rest. The human body breathes 0.3 liters.
Very real sounding drums there as well. Those cymbals sound very real, not so done on a computer. So maybe this one is going to be I guess more of a real groove. I guess Misery had real drums as well, I think, so it's not the first time on the album, but yeah, it definitely feels quite different so far. And we've got 2 different narratives going on, I think, in both different things. And also, what's that? Sounds like the guy from the Blue Nile in the middle singing Moonchild. Oh, it's not, is it? It's someone else from 80s. Oh, it's Brian Ferry. No. Oh, I don't like Brian Ferry. And no doubt it's just a song that he's done. I don't know what. I'm not a fan of Brian Ferry. Brian Ferry, classic, sleazy lead singer of Roxy Music. I really can't stand how he sounds or how he appears or how he, presents the music that he's doing. I do occasionally like a Roxy Music track, but I really think his voice is just not what I'm looking for. Such a quivery vibrato. Fool, fool, fool. I can't really do it, but it is like a neighing.
I didn't get but a little bit, but still dreamt. After I wake up again. It's not.
Yeah, the drums are interesting, aren't they? Because they're really just on those cymbals, and they're going da 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 da, giving those triplets, which is fun. There's none of that in Billy Wood's though.
A little bit, but still dreamt. After I wake up again. It's not easy to bend time how I do it. I had the knack, I suppose, knee full of fluid. She had me running back.
Yeah, so it's actually the rhythm is free enough that sometimes what Billy Woods is doing does sound like da-ga-da, but the internal rhythm of what he's doing feels more like it's going, rather than da-da-da-da, it's like da-ga-da-da, right? Da-ga-da-da. So you've got that empty first beat, if you like.
She's an old, she know what she doing. Daylight crack under curtains, we lay spooning, bodies wrapped up, cups rolling belly, a serpent moving counterclockwise.
So because you've got that da-da-da-da-da along with the da-da-da-da, there's this psychedelic feel related to how the threes and the fours, if you like, fit together. You can't really parse it in real time. Sometimes it feels like they're going exactly together, and sometimes they just aren't, and so we get this wishy-washy tempo. The tempo is constant, and you can tell because we've got that bass just hammering out the beats, but everything in between the beats is so fluid, and it feels like a Chopin sort of virtuosic piano thing where there's so many notes and they just fit in the bar, and the beat is really where everything joins back together.
Clockwise, one city sleep, do-rag tied, the other bears teeth as it opens its eyes, never the twain shall meet. I knew she was a pro, how she slid out the bed sheets, grasping gas, fish, I slide them into fresh grease, spattering, sputtering epithets. I dance how niggas reach like sweet pea, giggling like it's sweet in this.
Pretty regular slapback echo on the voice here. It's not slapback because it's not immediate, but it has the feeling of slapback, just delayed, it's what's it doing? I don't know. It again de-seating the sort of regimented rhythm and making everything just awash in this strange sleep-like or late-night kind of feeling.
Streets, maybe it is, I just speak for me.
Odd to be doing it at 11 in the morning.
Wash basin, fog, the mirror start my day, but the other place still feel realer. Turn the phrase just a bit, I got power steering. The woods gave way to a clearing where I knew they were waiting for my appearance with Nas ancient, faceless, but I know who they are.
The fool I have been.
Yeah, I'm so not a fan of his voice. But it's an interesting textural change, isn't it? From the low spoken voice of Billy Woods, who isn't deliberating about what pitch he's speaking at, to the very controlled, deep larynxed. Oh, realize now the fool I have been. Bleat of Brian Ferry on that high bit. It's a big textural change and a big cognitive shift.
Living off distorted dreams.
It's also kind of interesting because it's almost like a chorus. We haven't really had choruses in any of these previous tracks, so this one maybe is just looking a little more conventional in some ways.
They had captured the CIA, captured,
and in other ways totally not. So
it's
not like I want to signal it out for being conventional.
Okay. A fictitious person described,
and we're fading, leaving the story. Oh, and they've gone back to both different.
Each one of these techniques. We're giving permission to torture him, assuming these facts are true.
Yeah, I mean, the purpose of having two different bits of the same person speaking in two different ears is to decentralize the words from the experience and decentralize that semiotic understanding. Now you're just hearing two different voices. You can zone in on one, you can zone in on other, and maybe some people can hear quite considerably both at the same time. Not me. I can't go, follow both narratives at the same time. Yeah, no way to do that for me. So what I experience is a barrage of the same person talking at me at different times, and I tend to just focus on one, but clearly that's not the intended thing. Maybe it's just there so that different people will have different experiences while listening to the same thing. They will listen to a different voice. The different voice will come forward to them. Or maybe the intended matchup of the two is to emphasize different things in what they're saying, and not the whole content of what they're saying. But for instance, just at the end there,
we're giving permission to torture you.
The wallet, the waterboard comes through there, and then techniques comes through on the other side. So yeah, something about probably torture.
Assuming these facts are true. Spaces. In fact, the detention ends and these locked together so they can't move.
Yeah, I don't know. Locked together so they can't move. Quite a strong way to end. Yeah, well, basically, yeah, just what I was expecting. In some ways, it absolutely is what I was expecting. But in other ways, this was a novel experience, as you can expect from Billy Woods. One of the most innovative and interesting and prolific people in hip-hop, in music today. Working with some of the most amazing producers as well. So what would you expect other than a really interesting and unique experience? Go and have a listen to it, I think. Go and have a listen to it bereft of me. I don't want to spoil this for you. I will say it does go on. We got to the 7th track, so there were, including that one, 12 more tracks to do. Yeah, so, well, maybe there's a dip in quality at some point, but I think really all 6 of those tracks are really cool, interesting, and okay, they have the same monotone voice that may put you off the whole, you know, I don't want to call it ambient hip-hop, but like, what, laid-back hip-hop, there's definitely a better genre term that I'm not thinking of right now. Conscious hip-hop sometimes is what you get. But the laid-back voice might just put you off that. There's no getting around that. If it doesn't, I think you can't go for a better option to hear that straightforward monotone voice than Billy Woods. And I think this is, well, looking like one of his best albums as well, from my perspective. So I have no problems endorsing listening to this. I've had a great time. I was a little bit trepidatious going in, thinking that it could be low on things that I can usefully talk about, but I actually found loads of things that I could talk about. And yeah, great. Lovely stuff. Have a great day. Have a great life. Bye-bye. Mwah.